Bipolar disorder is a mental health condition that is often misunderstood by many people. It involves extreme mood swings that can deeply impact a person's everyday life and well-being. These are not just simple mood changes that everyone experiences from time to time. They are intense periods of high energy and also very deep sadness that can last weeks. The high periods are known as mania, or the less intense form, hypomania. During this time, a person might feel extremely happy, energetic, and unusually powerful or important. They might talk very fast, have racing thoughts, and need very little sleep. They could also make impulsive decisions about money, relationships, or work that have serious consequences. Then there are the low periods, which are called depressive episodes. These moments feel like a heavy, dark cloud that simply will not lift, no matter what happens. During a depressive episode, a person can feel incredibly sad, hopeless, and worthless. They often lose all interest in activities they once enjoyed and feel completely drained of energy. This constant shift between extreme highs and devastating lows is the hallmark of bipolar disorder. It can feel like being on a roller coaster that you simply cannot get off. But this condition is so much more than just these visible mood swings. There is an unseen reality happening inside the brain that explains why these changes are so intense. This is the part that many people do not see or understand. Bipolar disorder literally changes the physical structure and the chemical makeup of a person's brain over time. It's a biological process, not a character flaw or a personal weakness. Understanding this is the first step towards compassion for those who are living with this difficult condition. Let's explore how this complex condition actually rewires the brain. It's a fascinating and important part of understanding the full scope of what bipolar disorder truly is. Scientists use advanced imaging technology, like MRI scans, to look inside the brains of people who have bipolar disorder. They have found noticeable differences in several key areas. One important area affected is the prefrontal cortex, located at the front of the brain. This part is like the brain's chief executive officer, in charge of decisions. It helps with problem solving, managing emotions, and controlling impulses. In bipolar disorder, this area often shows reduced activity and even a slight decrease in its overall size. This can help explain why someone with bipolar disorder might struggle with making sound judgments or controlling their actions, especially during a manic episode when impulsivity is very high. Another crucial part of the brain that is affected is the amygdala. The amygdala is like the brain's emotional alarm system, processing feelings like fear, anger, and pleasure. In people with bipolar disorder, the amygdala is often overactive and can be larger than average. This contributes to the intense emotional reactions seen in both mania and depression. It is as if the emotional volume knob in the brain is turned up to its maximum setting, making every feeling much more powerful and overwhelming than it should be. The hippocampus is also involved in this complex brain rewiring. This part of the brain is essential for forming and storing memories and also helps regulate our mood. Studies have shown that the hippocampus can shrink in people with long-term, untreated bipolar disorder. This can lead to problems with memory and learning over the long run. These physical changes are not just random. They are connected to the very chemicals that our brains use to communicate. These chemicals are called neurotransmitters, and they are vital. Think of neurotransmitters as messengers carrying signals between brain cells. In bipolar disorder, the system for sending and receiving these important messages becomes significantly disrupted and unbalanced. Dopamine is one such messenger. It is often linked to feelings of pleasure, reward, and motivation. It plays a huge role in our drive to seek out experiences. During a manic episode, it is believed that there is an excess of dopamine activity. This creates feelings of euphoria, high energy, and an intense drive for rewards. This dopamine surge can also fuel risky behaviors. As the brain's reward system is working overtime, making dangerous choices seem incredibly appealing and exciting at that particular moment. On the other hand, during a depressive episode, the dopamine system seems to function poorly. This contributes to a loss of pleasure, low motivation, and general disinterest in life. Another key neurotransmitter is serotonin, which helps to regulate mood, sleep, and appetite. Its balance is crucial for maintaining a stable emotional state and overall sense of well-being. In bipolar depression, serotonin levels are often thought to be lower than normal. This is similar to what is seen in major depressive disorder and contributes to sadness. Norepinephrine is a third messenger that is also involved in this process. It helps control alertness and energy. Imbalances can contribute to both high-energy mania and low-energy depression. So, bipolar disorder is not just a feeling. It is a tangible biological condition that rewires the brain's hardware and disrupts its delicate chemical software in very specific ways. These profound changes in the brain don't just affect mood and energy levels. They go much deeper, striking at the very core of a person's sense of self. The condition can fundamentally alter a person's identity. It makes it difficult to know who you really are when your personality and interests seem to constantly change so dramatically. Imagine having memories from manic episodes where you felt like a completely different person. You might have been outgoing, fearless, and incredibly creative during that specific time period. Then you crash into a deep depression where you feel shy, anxious, and unable to even get out of bed. Your former confidence seems like a distant dream. This creates a fractured sense of identity. A person with bipolar disorder might ask themselves, which one is the real me? The high-energy person or the depressed one? The memory problems caused by changes in the hippocampus also play a big role. It can be hard to build a consistent life story when memories are hazy. There can be gaps in memory from severe episodes. A person might not fully recall things they said or did while manic, which can be very confusing and frightening. This can lead to feelings of shame and regret when they learn about their actions from friends or family members. It feels as if a stranger was in control. Interests and passions can also shift dramatically between episodes. During mania, someone might start dozens of ambitious projects, convinced they will change the world with their ideas. They might spend all their money on new hobbies or business ventures. But when depression hits, all of that passion vanishes completely, leaving projects unfinished and dreams abandoned. This cycle makes it very difficult to build a stable career or maintain long-term hobbies. The person's identity feels unstable because their goals and desires are always in flux. Relationships also suffer greatly from this constant shifting. Partners, family, and friends struggle to understand the person who seems to change from one week to the next. It's like being in a relationship with two entirely different people. This can be confusing and emotionally exhausting for everyone involved in the person's life, including themselves. The person with bipolar disorder often feels immense guilt over the impact their illness has on their loved ones. This guilt can then worsen their feelings of depression. This constant struggle to maintain a coherent sense of self is one of the most painful, yet unseen, realities of living with bipolar disorder. It's an internal battle. The identity is not just changed. It feels like it is constantly being rewritten without any permission. It is a deeply unsettling and disorienting experience for the individual. Many people with the condition describe feeling like an actor playing different roles. They don't know which role is authentic, or if an authentic self even exists anymore. This can lead to a profound sense of loneliness and isolation. Even when surrounded by people who care, they can feel like nobody truly understands their internal chaos. The rewiring of the brain creates a new reality for the person. Their perceptions, thoughts, and feelings are all filtered through the lens of their current mood state. During mania, their reality is one of boundless potential and excitement. During depression, their reality is one of inescapable pain, failure, and utter hopelessness with no end. Living with this rewired brain and shifting identity is a daily challenge. It requires immense strength and resilience to navigate a world that expects consistency from every single person. Simple tasks can become monumental efforts. Getting through a workday or attending a social gathering can feel like climbing a mountain when your brain is not cooperating with you. The fear of the next episode is always present. Even during periods of stability, there can be an underlying anxiety about when the cycle will start all over again. This fear can be paralyzing. It can make a person hesitant to make long-term plans or commit to new goals because they don't trust their own mind. The stigma surrounding mental illness adds another layer of difficulty. Many people with bipolar disorder hide their condition out of fear of being judged or discriminated against by others. They might worry about losing their job, their friends, or the respect of their family if they are open about their diagnosis and their daily internal struggles. This forces them to wear a mask, pretending that everything is okay, when in reality, they are fighting a difficult battle inside their own mind every single day. This constant pretense is exhausting. It drains the limited energy they have, making it even harder to cope with the symptoms of the illness and its various effects. This is why a strong support system is so incredibly vital. Having people who understand and offer unconditional love can make all the difference in the world. It helps to break the isolation and reminds the person that they are not alone in their struggle. Support provides a safe space to be vulnerable without any fear. Despite these immense challenges, there is hope. The brain may be rewired by the illness, but it can also be guided back towards stability with the right treatment. Effective treatment for bipolar disorder usually involves a combination of medication and therapy. Both are essential for managing the condition and rebuilding a person's life and their identity. Medications called mood stabilizers are the cornerstone of treatment. They work by helping to correct the chemical imbalances in the brain that we discussed earlier in the text. These medicines, such as lithium or valproate, help to control the extreme highs of mania and the deep lows of depression, creating a more even emotional playing field. Finding the right medication and the correct dosage can take time. It often requires a period of trial and error, working closely with a skilled psychiatrist to see. But once the right balance is found, it can be life-changing. It can quiet the internal chaos and provide the stability needed to begin the process of healing. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is the other crucial piece of the puzzle. It teaches practical skills for managing the illness and its many different life effects. In therapy, a person can learn to recognize the early warning signs of a new manic or depressive episode. This allows them to seek help before it escalates. They can also develop healthy coping strategies for dealing with stress, regulating their daily routines, and managing difficult emotions in a much more constructive way than before. Therapy also provides a safe space to explore the impact the illness has had on their identity. It's a place to sort through the confusion and grief. Through this process, a person can start to rebuild a new sense of self. This new identity is one that acknowledges the illness without being defined by it. They learn that they are not their illness. They are a person who has an illness, which is a very important and empowering distinction for them to make. This involves accepting that life might be different now. It means learning to work with their brain's unique wiring, rather than constantly fighting against its natural tendencies. It is about creating a new narrative for their life. One that includes the struggles of bipolar disorder, but also highlights their incredible strength, resilience, and their unique perspective. This journey of rebuilding an identity is not a quick or easy one. It takes a lot of time, patience, and a great deal of self-compassion. There will be good days, and there will also be bad days. The key is to not give up hope during the difficult moments that will inevitably come. Celebrating small victories is very important. Every day that is managed well is a success. Every new coping skill learned is a step towards a much better life. It's amazing to remember that the brain has a property called neuroplasticity. This means it can change and adapt throughout our lives, which is a very hopeful thing. With consistent treatment and healthy habits, the brain can form new, healthier pathways. The negative rewiring from the illness is not necessarily permanent or completely irreversible. Things like regular sleep, a balanced diet, and consistent exercise can all support brain health. They help to further stabilize mood and improve overall cognitive function and well-being. These lifestyle factors are not a cure, but they are powerful tools that work alongside medication and therapy to help manage the condition more effectively over the long term. Building a life with bipolar disorder is about finding a new kind of balance. It's about learning to surf the waves instead of being constantly crushed by them. It requires creating a strong support network of friends, family, and healthcare professionals who can provide help and encouragement when it is needed the most in their life. Support groups can also be incredibly valuable. Connecting with others who share similar experiences helps to reduce feelings of shame and isolation, which is a wonderful and freeing thing. It shows a person that they are part of a larger community. They learn from the wisdom and experience of others who are navigating the very same path. So while bipolar disorder does rewire the brain, this is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a different kind of journey for them. It's a journey that demands courage, awareness, and a willingness to adapt to new circumstances. But it is a journey that can still lead to a life. A life that is rich, meaningful, and full of purpose is still possible. It may look different from the life they had imagined, but it can be beautiful. The unseen reality of bipolar disorder is its profound biological impact on the brain. This impact is what changes a person's thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and their identity. It is a real and challenging illness, not a choice or a failing. This understanding is absolutely essential for creating a more compassionate and supportive world for these individuals. The rewiring in the brain explains the intensity of the mood episodes. It is the reason why willpower alone is never enough to overcome this complex brain condition. The shifting sense of self is a direct result of these brain changes. It's a confusing and painful experience that deserves much more recognition and a lot more empathy. But the story does not end with the diagnosis or the struggle. It continues with treatment, resilience, and the process of rediscovery of their new self and identity. With the right support and tools, individuals can learn to manage their rewired brains. They can build a stable and very satisfying life for themselves and for others. They can forge a new, stronger identity, one that is defined not by their illness, but by the incredible courage it takes to live with it every day. This new identity is authentic and resilient. It acknowledges the scars of the past, but is not held captive by them, which is a very powerful transformation. Bipolar disorder changes a person. There is no doubt about that. It leaves a permanent mark on both the brain and the story of a person's life. However, this change does not have to be solely destructive. It can also be a catalyst for profound growth, self-awareness, and a deeper appreciation for life's stability. By shining a light on this unseen reality, we can fight stigma. We can foster understanding and encourage those who are struggling to seek the help they need. Because a diagnosis is not a final destination. It is simply a signpost on a longer journey toward healing, acceptance, and finding peace within a rewired, resilient mind.